Good morning. Welcome back, folks. Just a quick reminder before we start this one out, this is a claimed area that we'll be working in, but if you'd like more information on this claimed area, you can check out the Twin Falls Snake River chapter of the GPAA, and you might be able to check this place out yourself. Here's the 10 pieces.
You don't know?
It says real crisp on the side.
We're gonna taste that.
Master chef at work. Okay. There at it.
Oh no! Oh no!
Oh, well, at least it wasn't a wiener. Alright, well, let's get back into the dirt here, see what we can find. Got a little extra help today. A few friends come by, we'll see what they can come up with. We decided that classifying as many buckets as we can run through and trying to get through some volume on our last day here might be our best bet. Then we can go home and clean everything up. Just like the previous video, starting out with the Nugget bucket, then we'll move over to some sluicing in an area we found we could use that in. And if you missed it in the last video, we determined that about 3.5 scoops was right for this. Run the water through, help sift it through the classifier with the hands, and away you go. Still not expecting to find any nuggets, but we do try to check through these guys on every sift. Just, you never know. We also got the chance to show a bit of the younger generation what we know so far. We're not experts by any means, but hey, maybe they can teach us someday.
Oh wow, buddy. That's one of the biggest pieces we found so far. That's pretty freaking good. Dude. Give me a smile.
Gold miner on our hand.
It looks better on him than it does on me for keeping the side.
Hello, can you go?
Good shit in the bullshit.
Well, clearly it was time for a food break, so working on some burgers. Yummy. Those onions smell good. Well, here's a little side channel we found that would hold the sluice. Couldn't dig right by the sluice since there were trees in the area, but we found a few areas to pull some buckets from. Also, we got this lovely lighting ripple effect, so enjoy that as we go through this. This was is actually probably one of the better flows we were able to set up with the sluice. Just kind of fit in the area perfectly, and just the water pitch, everything was just great. To help speed things up a little bit, the wifey runs the bucket while we go off and try to fill another bucket.
Just lift as straight up as you can.
We never get it just perfect into the bucket, but these Dream Mat mats make it a lot easier to clean out.
As you can see.
Also, since I added this inspection mat, it's kind of interesting to see the little specks on that before you even start to clean it out. Kind of fun.
Yeah. Too sneaky before we even put it in there.
Try to zoom this in a little bit, but GoPro doesn't do so good on the close-up shots, so the camera will be needed someday. A few pans to rinse, shake the mat out, and good to go.
Now we can rinse like this.
Another one of the beauties of the Dream Mat is you get quite a bit less on the cons, so makes it a little bit easier to pan through, a little bit easier to work with. Unfortunately, we didn't grab a shot of these at the end, but there was maybe 6 or 7 little flakes in there. Nothing terribly exciting, so tried a few different areas with the sluice. This little spot was just at a Y point that kind of cut the river, so we figured it might be worth a shot to see if anything got dropped out at the Y. Another attempt at a close-up after that one. You can see the little flake in there, one of the larger ones we've seen. Since this is our last night here, we're in a little extra. Here's some Wagyu tri-tips we're working on. Mixing those up with a pot of veggies and some tater mixes we're gonna do. Everything's looking pretty good here. We're gonna get this stuff off the grill, get those tater out into a cast iron, and get the meat cut up. I tell you, with the small area in this trailer, it smells good in here. Here's a shot of what we're working on with the taters. We just got those guys out of the foil, into the cast iron, throw some cheese on top, and then we're going to throw that back on the fire for just a short while, let that cheese melt, and everything will be ready. That little extra in here is the leftover fajitas from the previous night. So here it all is together, all mixed and good eatings. It's a good way to end the trip. And then tomorrow we can go home, clean up all our gold, grab a little bite. Last campfire of the trip. I know it was a good one. Hopefully we have many more of these to come. But this one's not quite over yet. We still have the trip back and get that gold cleaned up. So we'll be back in just a sec with that. A drive out over the hill takes us out through a almost like a gated area of aspens. It's kind of a cool little drive out. We come over the top of the ridge, drive down back to the highway, and then off home. Still a little bit of snow on the ridge lines, but luckily there's nothing on the road. And I guess that was the county doing a great job out there cleaning these roads up and getting everything ready for the summertime. here we are on the final descent. Hit the last few corners, and then head back home. Couldn't come too soon. Looks like it's gonna rain. So we didn't have none of that on the trip, luckily. Okay, back home. We're gonna run this through our cleanup buddy. All of our cons that we kept from the last few Nugget bucket runs and the sluice. And a lot of times kind of question why these guys do this voiceover every time. Why don't they just talk during the video? Well, we tend to like to run music while we're doing all of this stuff because it can be a little monotonous. So, unfortunately, YouTube doesn't tend to enjoy the music getting played in the background. So here we are voiceovering. But hopefully we can show you a little bit of gold at the end of this and make that a little worthwhile. Now, I haven't quite perfected the cleanup of the cleanup buddy here yet, but the gist of it is you run your material, you slide the mat out, and then you just clean it like you would one of the larger sluices with kind of a dishwashing type motion. Gets all that stuff cleaned out of those slots really easy. And even before we start this cleanup in here, you can see that little bit of gold peeking out of the top up there. We probably ran, I don't know, 4 or 5 runs of this, of cons. Maybe a little more. We'll just show you a couple of the cleanups and then we'll show it all together at the end. There's a decent shot of our chunkier gold. We'll get through these black sands and get it cleaned up a little nicer. Do wish these GoPro zoom-ins had come in a little cleaner, so if anybody has any suggestions for a good close-up camera, I'm all ears. Alright, let's dump out the snuffer. Get everything we collected from the trip into one pan and see what we came back with. I like to wash out a little bit of everything, including the tube of the snuffer, because you never know, a piece might be sticking in there. I'll try to speed through these a little faster, but I did want to give a little bit of a glimpse of us cleaning up the black sand pieces of these, because inevitably when you snuffer up, you're going to get some black sands. So clean these up, and basically what I've been doing is I'll run it down to the back, and I'll take a trick out of Klesch's book here, and I'll take a little squirt bottle, and we'll squirt the excess off the back. So we know there's no gold hiding in that back area. We just squirt that right off the back, and we just repeat that step over and over and over until we got clean gold. And a periodic tap to the top helps get those little stray pieces all up on that topper lip, and then it creates that little golden smile others you hear talk about. Makes it a lot easier to manage. And after 3 or 4 rounds of that, our gold's looking pretty clean. So now we're going to go through a little bit of a dry out process, and here's what that looks like. I just take a paper towel, I run that along the lower sections, making sure I'm not capturing any gold with that, and then I just let this guy sit on the table and dry out naturally for a while. A few folks will take like a heat gun or put this into a iron pan and heat it off. I just let it air dry. That seems to work pretty well for me. For size reference, here's a penny next to the gold we found. For me, on a first trip, I don't think it's too bad. For others, they'd probably say it's not that much, but hey, I was pretty happy for our first adventure. Now, I should have captured the whole process of this, and I apologize that I didn't, but the basics of how I gather the gold is I'll throw a sticky note down at the bottom, stick that to the bottom of the pan, scrape the gold off the edge because after it dries it tends to try to stick to that pan. And then once all the gold is loose, I'll tip the pan back and tick that into the sticky note. And here's our little scale. We'll get that tared off with the container that holds everything onto it. We'll get the gold into the little container. We'll see what she weighs. Pull that on. And we didn't quite make it to 1/10 of a gram, but we were close. Here's a nice close-up view of everything under the microscope. Man, gold looks a lot better when it's under a microscope, doesn't it? Anyhow, thanks for joining us on this one again, guys, and we'll catch everybody on the next adventure. Take care, everyone.